Let me see here. Let's see if I can do that. See if I'm smart enough. Well, what button do we hit?
Little video camera. You just. What the hell are you boiling? Is that like a?
I don't have that option anywhere.
Oh,
Let's see here.
weird. You're the one who makes the most videos. Yeah.
There we go. Am I on there? How's it going?
Wait, I mean, Jerry? Yeah, there he is.
That's me.
Yo. So, is there anything in particular I missed? I saw you guys were talking about like an event description.
Yeah, in those texts, I tried to address everything that was in her her PDF file she sent us. The event description, target audience, how we're going to reach people, stuff like that.
It's a really full list. I like it. Yeah, good list.
And I think if we address those things, as far as attendees go, we don't really have a grasp on how many people will show up. There might be 50 people, there might be 500. I'm not sure, but I think the more we reach out, the more people will show up. And now at least we have a venue that will support, you know, a whole bunch of people.
Well, I mean, my experience in the road, seeing what kind of things got people's attention there. Like at the armory, we had like it was a convention for like it was model trains or something. That was a pretty big hit. A lot of people were there. They had like there's tons of different things to go on there, and you know, been there for 13 years. There's never been a Jaw Harp festival, but it's about the point where I really think that it'll grab enough people's attention. So yeah, you can't really predict how many people exactly would be there, but I feel confident that we'll get over 50 to 100.
I see.
But considering we have a wider range of advertisements since you guys are all over the country, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as we are, I feel comfortable. I'm not sure that we should necessarily put a number in the proposal. Have to, like Jamie said, 1 to 500. Yeah. Yeah.
I think if we try that, you know, me and Porky and all, we can't really help with hanging up flyers. Maybe I could send some money or something to help recoup your guys' costs for hanging up flyers. But if you could do like a 2 to 3 hour radius, because there's towns all around Cottage Grove, and I think Springfield isn't too far. That's got like 50,000 people. If we could hang up a whole bunch of flyers in places where people gather, especially appeal to people who are eccentric or who like unique instruments, like hanging up flyers in bars and dispensaries and coffee shops if they'd allow it. If we could hang up flyers there, we might get more of an audience who's receptive to, what would that be called? Ethnocentric or whatever, jaw harps, overtone instruments, stuff like that. So if we hang up flyers in places like that within a 3 hour radius of Cottage Grove, maybe we could get a really big turnout.
I mean, like right across the street from my apartment is like the music section of University of Oregon, where all the college art music students go. So I'll set up places over there. There's like farmers markets over here, whereas the other people play accordions out front there. There's coffee shops, and we got Crestwell, Springfield.
There you go, and that's a good idea. You mentioned hang up flyers in your college. If you could go to colleges around there and hang up flyers as well, because young people are always going to be more excited to do something new and novel than an old person would be. You know, old people, they don't like to travel a whole bunch and just for music, but the younger crowd definitely might be more enthusiastic.
My twin sister, she goes to school in Corvallis at Portland State University, so I'll actually forward her some flyers after more about as well. There's another college, like University of Oregon and OSU are like the two biggest in Oregon, so yeah, those are two good spots to. I have access to both. That's good.
Yeah. It's definitely something that like you West Coast people are gonna have to be more hands-on with, like the people. I have no plans to go west of the Mississippi River, except to go to you guys. You know.
Yeah.
I haven't been out there since I was a child.
Oregon is beautiful.
I don't know what it's like. You know, I don't know how to promote out there. I don't know anyone out there. Well, I can definitely promote to my channels, and maybe we can get like a few people that I know to go out there, but most people I know are gonna want to travel. You know, that's just how I am. I'm not the most popular. I'm like your banjo player's favorite banjo player. You know, like I'm a nerd in the music, the folk music scene. So I don't have any. I have a following dedicated.
I would recommend if I were you, if you wanted to at least have more like exposure in the West Coast. If you're already being in Cottage Grove, maybe hit up the Axe and the Fiddle, which is a block from the Armory, and that's like honestly like the perfect venue for a place like that would where like someone like you that would perform. There's constantly like, people with fiddles and banjos and stuff coming in. It's awesome. But it's a really
I'm not too worried necessarily about trying to play shows out there because I have experience in like running on events on the ground. I figured I can do sound. And, you know, I could probably even bring my sound system to do the sound. You know, like I know how to do those things.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I know some people too.
If we're gonna have full bands like with drum sets and things like that, like rock and roll bands, I'm not set up for that. But I'm set up for world folk music. That's what I do.
My stepdad's a drummer. He has a full drum set, so
it's not the drum set; it's the microphones for the drums that are hard to.
I think that if people do have drums, like where Porky Miller was saying that guy had contacts for people from other countries with their music, it's probably going to be like bongo drums or traditional drums, something like that, instead of like trap sets.
We can mic those things all day. It's the big rock and roll sets that are
I have a friend
a little bit harder.
I have a friend named Jared Alls, who's a college music student. He's a drummer, and
he would know more than I would.
Yeah, he's also, and he's interested in performing for us. I asked him about it. He said he would take into consideration for doing a free performance. So I'm very sure that Dr. Wallman thinks I don't know what's going on or anything. He would offer to help us out, something like that. It's an option, and he's got the sound system to properly set up for that full drum set. So, they've been jamming forever. They have a really good set going on. They have a cool stage in their backyard. They always have like open mic jam sessions. It's really cool. So I'll hit them up.
Yeah, maybe he could do like the concert at the night, and I could do the sound for the workshop, some things like that.
Yeah.
We need to think about both of those places.
Yeah. And we do use.
Turn up this mic.
I can't hear you. Are you using them for like workshop still, or?
It would be nice to if we can, but if it's unnecessary, then if the armory is large enough to do everything,
That's a good thing to think about too. One thing that that you don't want with a festival, and I've never did a festival before, but anytime people leave the festival, there may be a chance they don't come back. Like if they have to leave for food, they get tired, they go back to their hotel room, or if they leave for a workshop, they might not end up coming back. But if we can keep people right around the festival, it keeps the excitement going, keeps the velocity of excitement up.
That's a good idea.
So sorry.
Speaking of food, I did do a little bit of research on food trucks, and it seems like there's a good handful of them in Eugene, which is close, right?
Yeah.
And it seemed like there were several other ones around the area. And those guys, all we'd have to do is give them a couple weeks notice, and they'll just show up, and they'll tell their buddies, and they'll all show up too.
And if there's a huge turnout, more food trucks might show up as well, because I know food trucks, like if they hear something's going on, oh, there's something going on in the park in this town 10 miles away, food trucks will flock to there because they know that they'll make more money than just being parked by the street.
So the food trucks themselves would draw attention to the whole festival. I mean,
Oh, maybe we should include that in our description, like some ethnic foods that, a unique music experience and a unique also opportunity to try foods you might not get to normally try.
yeah.
Because people love novelty. People will travel further for novelty than something that they've seen or heard or tasted before.
I like that the Armory had a model train event. I feel like Jaw Harps and model train events, like, they match, like, it's like avant-garde Americana.
They're ridiculous, dorky in their own ways. It's funny.
Yeah.
Nerdy enthusiasm or obsession.
Definitely. All those people in that model training obsession thing, festival are just as obsessed with them as we are with our Jews are. So it's the same thing. But I was about to say something before. What if we still use the Opal Center for that before the festival, like the open mic jam session thing?
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
And that would be good in respect to, like, if we have an open mic, if people, who we don't know come and play at the open mic, just be like, well, that's an opportunity to perform at the festival, because the festival should be kind of open to all people who, regardless of their playing skills, like if there's a kid who wants to perform who's been playing for a little while, let them open or whatever as well.
Exactly. That's the point. Like, we want to make, since that's the mission statement of the Jews Harp or festivals, to like make, as many people into them as possible and make more awareness about them. So we need to explain to people how it can be any different skill, put their skill sets and it can be any different level of talent, talentedness to play the Jews Harp, or like any other instruments could tag along with them. So that's why I was mentioning before, I think it's important that we have other types of musicians showing how the Jews Harp can be incorporated with the musical world, because it's a serious instrument, but a lot of people just kind of limit them to just themselves doing that noise. But there's so much more to that, so.
Oh yeah, that is a good idea.
Yeah, so if we had an open night jam session at the Opal Center, that way we could still use them. They would be supporting us in a way, and that way we could, during the actual festival, we could just use the Armory for what we need and have the whole place just centered there. Because really, in the end, like, if we had the whole festival in one spot the whole time, that would be the best and less confusing for everyone.
Yeah,
And,
but
Because the Opal Center's like right next door, you said, right?
yeah, that's true.
and
Like,
It's not far, so it's good to have it as a backup,
yeah,
and that the Opal Center is kind of like what BJ's associated with, and she's been really helpful. So if we can help the Opal Center out as well a little bit.
yeah, exactly. That's what BJ was saying. Like, I felt like that way too. I'm really good friends with people who are part of the Opal Center. They've been really helpful, and I would feel really bad to just say, "Oh, I guess we don't need you guys."
Yeah, but
Can
then
someone on the ground go and get pictures of both places?
Yeah, definitely. In fact,
We might have them on their websites even.
that's what I'm saying.
oh, Kitty.
Okay. I'll be right back.
I don't know, all the best festivals I've been to always have a Thursday pre-party. Maybe that's where the Opal Center can get involved.
Yeah, because pre before the festival, there's not going to be a whole bunch of people.
And that's where we can have our open mic. The winner can have a chance to perform at the main event.
Meet and greet and hang out with people and talk, and because all we've really had is talks and hanging out over the interweb.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was thinking of an interesting idea the other day. I don't know how feasible it is, but you guys have all seen those videos of, like, I don't know if they can prove it, but it's like, the world's biggest Jews Harp orchestra, and it's like,
Yeah.
what if we kind of made an attempt at that?
Well, like that video I seen on YouTube had like 13 or 15 people playing the Jews Harp, and if we have 20 or 30 or 40 people.
You haven't even seen the
Whatever video you're talking about is outdated. There was a gathering of like 400 and something Jews Harps in Central Asia.
Yeah.
Like massive gatherings in Central Asia, like legends talk of like 1,000 people Jews harping and like conquering cities with the tone that is made. Like,
That's insane.
so like we got to be a little bit careful being like Westerners with their instruments making those claims, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
The history is there even in the modern era of like huge. They have huge orchestras where they get entire like elementary schools together and like all the children are playing. So think
Well,
of like a whole.
I guess we shouldn't make the claim of largest in the world. Maybe we just say like a gaggle of Jews harpists, or I don't know, a herd of jaw harpers,
I heard of harps.
a herd of harps. Yes.
Like the biggest you've ever seen, or something like that. You know.
A bunch of doingers.
Yeah.
So that's what my older brother calls them. He's like, "Oh, you still doing them doingers?" I'm like, yeah, still doinging.
It's fun. My girlfriend's taking a shower and listening to High School Musical. I can hear it. Oh my god. But anyways, yeah, I think if we advertise it as like, I guess maybe not the biggest, because like you said, that's kind of that kind of does, unless we really do extensive research to find out just what's the biggest like Jews harp gathering. That would sound a little ignorant to say the world's biggest Jews harp festival.
Right.
Orchestra. Yeah, that's a good point.
I checked out on some online insurance. You don't necessarily have to get local insurance for an event. I don't know the specifics of the armory, but from the pictures that Nico sent of the paperwork, they just want insurance coverage. So,
Is there any criteria? They want a certain amount of coverage or a certain amount of deductible, or what all would go into that?
didn't say anything on that paperwork, so we'll have to double check, but I did find some online. It was like $125 for 2 days worth of coverage. That did include alcohol.
We'd want to make sure, if we include alcohol, we'd want to make sure that the coverage is dang good. Because say if we do have 1,000 people show up and then we're serving beer and people get out of control, we would want to have really good insurance.
Now,
Yeah.
since I didn't know approximately how many people, I just put 250 into the quote. Just
That's
I
a
know
good safe bet. Yeah. Okay.
So,
Yeah,
I don't
oh.
know. That was one place. There was another place that was like 250, and it kind of went up from there. I'm not necessarily saying get the cheapest one, but there's definitely better options
The
than
Spectrum.
$400-500.
Yeah, that's definitely. Okay.
We should ask them what insurance they use. They might have like a good option, you know.
Yeah.
Now, what was this licensed server you guys were talking about? Is that like something in Oregon? You have to be a licensed bartender?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've lived in Oregon for most of my life, and all I've ever heard when it comes to people talking about jobs, when it comes to like alcohol and that kind of thing, is like you need to have a licensed server. That's the thing here in Oregon.
In Florida, you can bartend at 18. You can be a bartender before you're legally allowed to drink in Florida.
Oh,
Their
nice.
establishment probably has to have a liquor license, and I think that's what they're talking about. And I know here in Minnesota, anybody can get a temporary liquor license for dark days.
Oh. Sorry, hold on. You guys gonna be won't see me for a second.
He had to censor his video.
Sorry, my girlfriend ran by naked. What were we talking about before? Sorry.
We was talking about the Jews Harp Festival and Nudist Colony combining. No, I don't know. I'm an idiot on Sundays.
You're starting a new trend with juice burps. I like that. But yeah, Oregon's kind of, I'm not sure, but I think it's kind of behind when it comes to like weird regulations on alcohol. Like, I know hard alcohol is sold at like, liquor stores which are closed at 8 o'clock p.m. and stuff like that, and you have to be like 21 to with your license to serve and all that kind of stuff. But I never even considered that kind of stuff when it comes to a festival, especially since I don't drink. I wasn't even thinking about that part. But
Yeah, alcohol doesn't need to be a centerpiece of a Jaw Harp festival.
no.
Yeah, like we don't want people getting hammered drunk, but if you want to relax, kind of like if you have ever been to an opera or something like that, people will leisurely drink like wine or beer, you know, at intermissions and watch. And in some venues, you can actually take your wine or your beer down to watch. Or if you've been to a play, went to a play, The Book of Mormon in Wichita, and they allowed you to carry your drink in and watch the play. It was really cool. I'm not real big into plays or musicals, but Book of Mormon was a funny. The South Park people made it. It was good.
Which is very similar to, not similar, but like, I can play it in a similar way as the Rompists, I guess. So, like,
Your Parmalpil kind of reminds me of my favorite harp, the Masco Average. This is by far the loudest harp. And whenever I play it, I have to make sure my mic's further back because, like on a phone, it'll distort it. Most of the time when I play it for people, people are like, "Wow, that is loud," because it's really clean, but it's super loud. So if you ever have a chance to buy a Masco Average, they play super well. The guy who makes them over in Russia, he's an engineer and in his spare time makes harps, and his harps are beautiful. That's my favorite harp, and not only because of the sound and because of how well it breathes, but also the trigger. You can play it fast, you can play it slow, just super well-rounded instrument. But that'd be my favorite.
the egg shape too. What about you, Porky?
Well, my favorite's my Lady Strong so far.
Okay.
It's in the house, but I like that because it's fast and it's high pitched and it's pretty loud, and I can techno bubble the shit out of that thing.
Nice.
Yeah, I've seen
I go to the bar and the kids up there love it. I'll make dance, it's great.
How many harps you guys have now? Also, I just counted as 17.
17?
Yeah.
I got maybe 8.
Not counting the mediocre ones I've been making, 36 or 37 or something, and then a mouth bow. But I'm gonna brush up on my mouth bow and get good at playing it because it can be tuned, and I'm gonna try to play that for the festival as well. But I'm not super good on the mouth bow yet. It's kind of a different animal.
Yeah, I love the mouth bow. Big fan of mouth bow. So I like the Chancellor. Chancellor is my favorite because you see that trigger?
Oh, the bend trigger?
It's just like, it's paper thin and the frame is so small, and I can talk while it's in my mouth, so I can sing like, once I had a heart like a hino hen, said once I had a heart like a hino hen, once I had a heart like a hino hen, and I kept it locked up in a chicken wire pan,
Heck yeah, what we need for that type of music is like a stump to sit on and some moonshine. That's pretty cool. Very folky.
That's my culture, you know?
Dude, I'll bring my washed-up bass. So I can reach there. Yeah, that'll work well with that.
Washed up, is that like a gut bucket where it's got the stick and the string and?
Yeah.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
So it's like a big 17-gallon steel bucket, and it's got a big island in the center of it. And then I got the 500-pound cord string. So it has 500 pounds tension on cord breaks. And then I got a 4-foot long broom handle. Got an option to it. I just put it on the rim of the bottom of the wash tub, and I looped the string through it, and then I got this little bracket thing that, so I didn't have to tie off the string. It just like clamps it on. So that way, if I have to loosen or tighten the string, I could like loosen these little bolts on the clamp and then like adjust the string. And it sounds so fucking good. It sounds like a one-string like upright bass almost.
Nice. That would be. That could be another idea for workshops there, like making washed up basses, stuff like that. Improvised folk instruments.
Yeah, you should show how to make like diddly bows.
Oh, nice. There's a guy, I need to contact him on YouTube, that makes his YouTube channel is Morbanjo, Morbanjo. Also, he's here in the US, I believe. I'll contact him and see if he's interested in coming. Check out his channel. He makes like cigar box fiddles, cigar box guitars, cigar box banjos out of frying pans. That would, and I talked to him quite a bit on YouTube. He would be an interesting character if he's willing. And I don't know what part of the country he's based out of, but I'll write that down. Contact more banjo. If you guys would be interested in having somebody, because his instruments are legit, and he hand makes them out of basically garbage.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that thing.
Are any of you guys in contact with the guy who makes Whitlow harps? I can't remember his name.
I gave him a call, Robbie Clements, because my first Whitlow harp ended up breaking, and he sent me a new one. I can give him a call. Robbie Clements, that was his name, I think.
Yeah, he lives in Appleton, Wisconsin.
Okay.
He said people are welcome to visit his home. The machines he makes his Jaw Harps on have been being made to Jaw Harps since the 50s in Florida.
Yeah,
He bought them off a guy from Tampa.
Yeah, he actually, the story behind that is he liked Whitlow harps so much that he went and hung out with, I think it's Fred Whitlow, for like a month or a summer, and apprenticed under him on how to build the Whitlow harps. I think Fred Whitlow was a machinist, and but I don't know his process. That'd be interesting to learn from him. His harps aren't very loud or very sensitive, but the sound is pretty clean. There's not really any limiting frequencies. Like, that's the problem I've been running into on my harps, is I have limiting frequencies that cancel things out. It's that fuzziness you hear. It's parasitic vibrations. But that'd be an interesting guy to talk to.
I don't know, make him add credit cards.
It's hard to tell those canceling vibrations over the. Your harps sound really good to me. I mean,
They don't sound horrible, but they don't sound like... I'm pretty hard on myself on my harps, because on my channel, like, I critique people's harps, even, good Jaw harp makers. I try to find things that I don't like, things that I do like. So I try to do the same thing to myself, and my harps are nothing compared to, some of the good makers.
Yeah.
Like the Tatarstan harps, you can get Tatarstan harps for like $30, and they're amazing. They're on the level, if not better, than Blackfire harps. And I don't know how they do it, but they don't have... It's a really clean sound. But anyways, I kind of got off topic. I'm Captain Distraction.
It's all good.
But
I'm only like 2 hours from Appleton. I should cruise out there one of these days.
yes, talk to him. Maybe shoot a video, put that up on YouTube too, if he'd allow it.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool actually.
I have his.
Interviewed him for our page.
I couldn't hear you.
I'll get a hold of him and see what he says.
Yeah. But these are what I make mediocre. I want to make harps, but I've been making these pipes. My partner, she made this one. I taught her how. They have 5 holes for playing the blues. So it's like for playing blues.
Oh, that's really cool.
More use.
Is a fife, is that like a flute where you blow downward, kind of like you're blowing in a bottle?
Yeah, it's basically a flute that plays in a higher register.
Nice. But it's that same downward blowing. My dad did reloading, and he used to play rifle shells sometimes, blowing into them, different ones, and making different sounds.
Like this, my girlfriend got me this tin whistle for Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's sweet.
I don't really know how to play it too well. I'm trying to figure it out. I kind of learned, like, Amazing Grace. I don't know.
I just had a crazy idea. Do you know what a pan flute is?
Yeah. It's like
Where it's a hole where they step down. Well, rifle shells, the cartridges, you can get them in different sizes. I wonder if you can make a pan flute, because I can get rifle shells all the way up to 50 caliber anti-aircraft rounds. I wonder if you could make like a pan flute out of rifle cartridges. Kind of like meld together peace and war.
That's a good idea.
I'm going to write that down.
So, the metal will go down, make enough sound for it.
My dad could blow into them and make sound out of rifle shells.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, yeah, that's
I'm in right now.
Oh, that sounds good.
You are doing it. That's cool.
Cat loves it.
Yeah, cat be dancing.
I like the thing.
Yeah. The whistle's good. That's why I don't have as many harps, because this is like a $90 whistle.
Nice.
I understand that. It's funny.
Anyways, I've got to, if we're done talking about the festival, I would love to spend all day talking with y'all, but I kind of work and kind of relax on Sunday, and I got a lot to do. But if it's okay if I can bounce out, I'm sorry to cut
I'll
out.
study for my finals tomorrow too. I don't think.
Well, one thing, let's maybe in writing list out who's going to be responsible for what. Like, talk to you guys later. I'm going to go.
Sounds good to see you guys.
I've been experimenting. I got another minute I'll spend. I've been experimenting around with a different way to mute the Phantom. I've been muting with my thumb and coming up with different sounds. See if I can get this going. I found it easier to do than with the pinky. I'm starting to get an arm cramp right now, but it's been working up okay. You come up with anything new?
Usually use my middle finger.
Middle finger. Nice. Is that the bicall? Your bicall, it's broke in pretty well. This one, I think it's going to be a little while before it breaks in.
Oh yeah, it took me. I got this thing like 6 or 8 months ago, probably. I played that Lady Strong a lot more than I played this, but now I've been in this. It probably took me 2 months to break it.
Oh, I see.
So.
Yeah.
We're the only two left. You gotta go there. Or...
Yeah, here in a minute. I always procrastinate stuff, so I should probably get on doing it. But let's see.